signed the, is that the same one that was the county commissioner?
I don't know, it's the same one there. Yeah, maybe.
Sarah's usually the yoga cow.
It says the substitute, so she must be.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense. What'd you ask me, Elaine?
Okay.
Did you find the
6:30.
RCW?
I found one on.
I found a whack. I found a whack. I didn't find an RCW. Found a
No,
whack.
I didn't either, and it referred you to the
Whack.
Department of Revenue.
Oh,
Wait,
no,
you're both
this
talking
whack
about
is,
two separate ones.
oh, we're talking about two
You're
separate
talking
things.
about fire department.
Oh, yeah.
I looked for fire.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
no,
just
I'm not.
looking if I could find anything
It's a
just to see
whack.
for
It's
sure.
a whack.
Oh, did you find it?
Yeah, I saw it.
But that one is also supposed to register with the.
Okay, let's see here. Call to order the April,
23rd.
huh? That's not right, it's not April
Yeah.
9th, is it? April 23rd?
Yeah.
April 23rd, says the 9th on here. Work session for the city of Tenino. The first item on here is review of the agenda. So if you guys want to take a look at the agenda, if you have anything you want to add during the meeting, I will make a note for that.
Not tonight.
Look at here quickly.
That's what you always say.
Anybody have anything for the agenda, or you want a few more minutes? I think this is the right one, or just an old one from last time? Hold on a second, I'm trying to think, I got an old agenda. I think she gave me the agenda for last meeting, I'm looking at it like,
Did I print the wrong
I think-
agendas for everyone?
No, I've got mine on
Just a minute.
the 23rd.
I can look over her.
Okay. Sorry, sir. Apparently we just ended up with.
You're trying to throw me off, aren't you?
I did. I'm sorry.
It's not very hard to throw me off.
Here's your pen.
Okay, that looks a little better here. Now I'm on. Okay, if there is nothing to add to the agenda, we'll council priorities. I'm still working on the financial policies. It's a little bit bigger project than it.
Well,
There's a big, it's a pretty thick document. I'm trying to go through and look at other suggestions. It just takes a while to get through it all, but I will get through that sooner or later and get it to Jen for her comments, and then we'll go from there.
okay.
Something that's come up, B&O penalties. Probably a month or so ago, we started talking about how many businesses in town haven't paid their B&O taxes. We sent out a bunch of notices, and I think we've got some responses back, but there are still businesses in town that have not paid their B&O taxes for some time. We've discovered some that don't even have business licenses.
I don't know how they get away with that.
I'm not
You
sure
have to
either.
go on the state Department of
Yeah.
Revenue.
So, yeah, I don't know how
And I
they.
get a reminder, it's time to renew your license.
So I think, Jen, what we wanted to talk about, how are we going to address these long time?
Yeah.
There's some pretty significant businesses in town that, I'm not going to say who they are here in this public meeting, but there's some that have had, have some pretty long outstanding B&O taxes due. And what I said to everybody is we can't ignore it. I mean, there's people in town that are paying their B&O taxes like they're supposed to, and it's not fair to them to kind of ignore but if we really want to push it, there's going to be a little bit of, pushback. I don't know really what the word to
Yeah,
use
I
it is.
object.
Yeah.
I filed.
Because
with
there's
the recorder.
penalties on top of it when you don't, kind of like our water bills. So I just we wanted to kind of get a feel from the council to make sure we're kind of all on the same page. So when we start having to push this, the issue a little bit more.
Well, we need to remind them. I don't think you were here yet.
Are you got your mic on?
We need to remind them that this is not something that was imposed by us. They wanted it. They came to council several times saying they wanted to have the B&O tax. So they got paid.
Yeah.
I was the only one on council that really was against it.
Yeah.
They get reminders too,
Yeah,
right? I'm
and
assuming.
like I said, we just sent out a bunch of them because I don't know if we hadn't been sending them out for a while. But we sent out recently, I think she went through and found everybody that, you know, was past due and sent out notices to all of them, and some paid, which was great. Yeah, I think part of what we're looking at is what is the process, you know, if they don't pay, we send them a notice, what, you know, what are the
What
next
else can we
steps?
do?
Yeah,
What
what are
else
the
can we
next
do?
steps to resolve this, but like I said, it's, yeah, you would be surprised.
If they don't pay, according to what I was reading on Department of Revenue, then they get a fine. You know, a penalty is what it called, they
Right.
called it.
Well, we
it's-
do
it's
find them
right
a
on
penalty,
the-
that's why
right
some
on
of their
the
bills are
paper,
pretty
yeah.
expensive, because they, you know, if you haven't paid for 4 years, some of them, I think, were almost 4 years.
When I took over Joyce's,
Mhm.
I think it was 2 or 3 years that she hadn't paid.
Yeah.
And so I went back on and got it all caught up, about 2 years ago, didn't I? And now I just do hers when I
Yeah.
do mine every 3 months, but she had a little significant bill that she had to pay.
And it doesn't
because of-
affect everybody, because you have to be at a certain income level before you have to start paying
Right,
taxes.
right.
So it's the smaller businesses, it's not, you know, it's
Yeah,
not
she
really
doesn't-
those real small ones, it's more
She
of the
doesn't
more.
pay, but she only pays like
Yeah.
30 or 40 bucks every 3 months, but
Yeah.
over a period of 2 or
It
3 years,
adds up,
it
yeah.
adds up, you
Yeah.
know. But there are
So-
people that aren't paying it that would owe a lot more than that.
I'm not asking you to make any decisions or vote on anything, but
Right.
I just kind of getting feedback of, I mean, my thing is, let's follow the process we have in place, and, you know, like I said, my thing is, we gotta treat everybody the same, and if they haven't paid their taxes, we just gotta,
I think for those that are not even licensed as a business.
well, yeah,
I
that's a whole
think
nother
that-
issue, is if they don't even
Well,
have a
that is
business
something
license,
that-
that's.
that amazes me, because the Department of Revenue, Washington State Department of Revenue,
You think they'd come after them?
well, yeah,
But how do they know? I don't even know how people know that.
I tried looking up some businesses, and some businesses are listed, those others are not
They're not
even
in-
listed as having a license.
so they have not, so
No,
evidently,
they're not.
They probably didn't even file a
Some-
state license,
no.
yeah.
well, that's what I mean, that's where you get your business licenses,
Yeah.
through the state.
Right, and it's
Yeah.
kind of consolidated now, so you just, so anyway, barring anybody having any concerns that we want to talk about more, I think my suggestion.
So
for-
what is the process?
I think that's part of what we got to figure out.
Yeah, you mean the process right now?
Yeah.
I'll just microphone it so it's not weird. So right now, you have to file it quarterly as a business. So many businesses will file annually instead because they don't owe anything. But we just ask that you still submit the paper. I mean, I think sometimes you don't owe anything, but you still just
I
bring it
do
in.
every 3 months anyway, it's just
Yeah,
easier
yeah,
for me.
quarterly, it's just easier, yeah. Essentially, we send them out annually to see who's behind, so that's how we find some businesses are 3 years behind, because we don't go through them all every quarter, we go through them yearly. She just went through them all, and she also found she finally got a login to Department of Revenue, because Ronna was doing that for a long time, and so she went in there and looked up a lot of businesses that we didn't know existed, that are home businesses or online businesses, they still have to pay those things. And then with that found there's a couple of businesses that are well-known that just don't even have a business license. One of them is a food service business, so I'm very confused how that is possible.
Because you think they have to get inspected for their food? Yeah.
I looked on the Department of Health, they're not listed.
Well,
Right.
the whole thing is, Department of Revenue and Department of Health
Don't
don't.
talk.
I
talk.
understand that, but
They don't
Right.
talk, so they don't, one doesn't know what the other one's doing.
But that business isn't on either one.
right.
But anyway, yeah.
And we send a lot of notices,
I have
so.
a question. If they don't pay it in 3 months, if they owe money by the quarter, how can they wait a year? They're paying all those penalties for waiting a year?
Yeah. Some of them just ask if that's okay, because a lot of them, it's the ones that do that are the ones that don't generally owe anything. So they'll just submit
They're
it.
a little small, so they don't have.
Okay.
The bigger ones are really good about it, but.
Are we allowed to like waive the fees if they're willing to? I'm not saying that's what we should do.
So
but
we've
I'm
had
just-
2 situations recently where the business has asked us if they could come to council and waive the fees. Turns out both of them were doing their math wrong and were substantially off They
Oh.
didn't include all the zeros in front of the percentage that they needed to pay. So once they figured out, they were like, oh, never mind, I can pay this, it's fine.
Oh.
It's
So-
not a huge amount of money. Typically, I think the B&O tax is pretty small. So
Yeah, this
it-
particular one owns multiple businesses in the city.
Well, actually, you
So-
collected more B&O tax so far
Yes.
this year than before.
Than ever before, yes.
Yeah.
And the penalties are higher than ever
Something is
before.
working, it's just, there's just a couple, 2 or 3.
It's just, if you don't pay it, all we do is continue to send you a letter and continue to send you
Well,
a
that's what
letter.
we need to find out,
Right.
what we can do.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I think what we've told them, if you want to ask for a waiver of the penalties, you have to come to council. I think it's kind of like we've done with but I don't know that we really have any process. I don't think we, maybe for B&O taxes, like we do with water, we kind of got some guidelines on
Yeah.
what we can do.
Yeah.
I don't know that we have that for council right now, as far as,
Yeah.
it's kind of just could be.
Because a
just-
water bill is not a tax.
Right,
Yeah.
but some of them, like the newer businesses said, well, we didn't know because we pay B&O through revenue
state.
to
Yeah,
the state,
yeah.
so we didn't know. But I mean, it's their job as a business owner to do
To know.
their research, but.
So, yeah, that may be something we need to look at, because it would be, if people are just randomly coming in and asking for relief from this, we should have guidelines on how we
Well, I don't know
do
that
it.
we can legally do that.
Or just say, no, we're
I
not
don't
gonna.
know that we could legally, because it's a tax.
Right.
It's a state law.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're just asking about the penalty. They're not asking to waive the B&O tax. They're asking to waive the penalty.
Isn't that also part of the law?
I don't know,
I don't know if that's part of the law or if that's just our
something we
rule.
put in there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll look more into it.
If you have any
but-
comments, I want to just kind of, we need to kind of do some more research, I think, about what exactly happens after we give them a notice. Do they, if they just don't respond or don't pay, what are the next steps? So,
Were they paying in the past before, and then all of a sudden they just decide not to, or?
Like, there's one big business that didn't pay, and then they paid like 4 years at once, and now they're like 3 years behind again. And then I don't think the other business that doesn't have a business license ever has paid
No,
any of
I'm
them.
sure.
So what would happen if you just walked in and say, I want to see your business license?
Right.
No, it's supposed to be posted.
It's supposed to, exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
So,
And
can I
it's
get with you after the meeting and find out? Because with my line of work too, I want to know
yeah.
who these places
I would say if you have any thoughts on it, I know it's something that you may think about something later. Send Jen any comments or any thoughts you may have if something comes up, if you think of something you want us, but we'll bring back something more, we'll give you more information. We just wanted to make you all aware that this is kind of a big, for some of the businesses, like I said, I don't want to tell you in a meeting who they are. That's not fair, but you'd be a little bit surprised, I think, if,
So this is a city of Tenino B&O above and beyond the state B&O
Right,
that is collected
right.
with the sales tax remittances.
right.
I think when we send a letter out to the businesses, we need to send it to the state as well.
We have reported a couple businesses to the state that we
Okay.
know are operating.
Without a license, or,
Yes.
Well, if this is a city B&O and not the state, are we not the jurisdiction who decides policies for that?
yeah, for the B&O tax, but if they don't have a business license, that's kind of a state issue. I think we should report it.
Well, yeah, and I think that on both of them, you have to follow whatever the state RCW says.
Yeah.
Even though it's a different jurisdiction.
Right, I think there are state rules about how much tax we can collect on B&O taxes as a city, but anyway, yeah, interesting.
I could probably guess one of them.
Yeah, probably. Anyway,
And I can confess my own probably remissness. I'll have to bring that up.
any
Yes,
other questions
yes.
about that one?
Let's have more information about that.
Yeah. We'll try to bring something back next meeting with a little more clarity about what the processes is after we've sent them letters and how long they have. If we have anything. If we don't, we'll work on putting something together. So as we contact these people, if they do ask to come before the council, we have some guidelines that, we treat everybody the same.
And that would be a good information to put in the letter that gets sent out to businesses.
Yeah.
Here's what we're looking for, and
Here's
these
the
are
policy.
steps and,
Here's the policy. Yeah.
penalties, and
Yeah.
make your choice.
Yep. Okay, discussion of 5:14 council draft agenda. I have one that I wanted to add for the next meeting. I met with Clint Endicott from the school. He wanted to come and do a little presentation. I've talked to him about, our water issue and how much, so the school is really making some big changes on their water usage, and he just wanted to come and kind of tell the council
Great,
about
great.
what they're gonna be doing and trying to save water, and it sounds like they're making some significant changes. So he asked if he could come to the council and just, I've tried to promote partnerships. He said, I'd just like to make sure that,
Yeah.
we're working together on this, and this is what we're doing to try to help with the water issue. So, we'll put him on the agenda for next month. Any other things that anybody has on their mind they want to add to the agenda for the next meeting?
No,
I'm sure other things will come up as we get closer, but.
Can I throw something in that?
Yep.
Okay. So this will be part of Jessica's report as well, but we did have 2 of the park public hearings for the park master plan. So that should be coming to you guys, hopefully to the next meeting for approval and review. So just a heads up, I will put that on here.
Yeah. And I think, Elaine, you attended,
Yeah.
Jeff, were you there for the first one? I forget.
That was for the first one, yep.
Yeah, we had a pretty good attendance for the first meeting. The second one was,
Yeah,
there was
like 3.
a few, 3 or, yeah, but.
Yeah, besides you and I.
There was definitely some discussion about the park. One of the things I heard after the meeting from a citizen was they didn't think we were focusing enough on senior activities. The park is more, they wanted us to think about things in our park that was more focused on seniors. Like, I guess the thing now is having little exercise things for senior citizens where it's, kind of passive, just movement, but it's things like that. So that
Tai
was-
Chi in the park. I love
Yeah.
seeing seniors doing that. That's more
So anyway, yeah, it looks like a good plan to me.
just
though.
so you know, I don't want any.
You don't want any?
No.
You're not too
I'm
old
a
for
senior
that
citizen, and
park.
I don't want any.
I thought the same thing.
do
so-
that exercise
I
program?
do that at home, I don't do it in front of people.
Okay, anything else for discussion? If not, we'll
No.
move into reports. So you
Look
guys
at
can,
these, look at these 2,
give your
they're gonna
reports and
get
get
in
out of
and out. They're saying, yeah.
yeah, since they're here, let's do Public Works and the police and then, go ahead. If you wanna,
Should we do the pool?
Yeah, let's do the bull.
Yeah.
Can we put those pictures up?
Yes, let's do
get some good news and get some positive.
I'm not a photographer, but I took the pictures, so.
They look pretty good.
They look
Did you
good.
look at
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
bad.
Should I call?
Okay. Everybody, if you need to see them, they are on the big screen.
They're on the big screen right there. So that's coming into the park,
Oh, that'd be
into the
grass.
pool area. Yeah, sod. We got sod up there. You'll see some more pictures of more sod that we put in. That's looking past by the old, I don't know, the gazebo that was back there we tore down. You can see the pavers going all the way back to there, and then some new sod. That white piece on that bathroom right there, that's where the drinking fountain's going.
Over here.
So we, yeah, we did add a drinking fountain to that because there's none out there. So instead of drinking out of the hose, and that's concrete overlay where the diving board and everything is. That looks really good.
That really looks a lot better.
Yeah. So we're also adding concrete and the walkway going out to the pool side too. So that hasn't been done yet, but it will
But
be
the
done.
big part is not gonna be open this year, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Definitely. That's the showers, outside showers that we had to put in.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about that, because I thought they were going on the other side, and I was like.
Yeah, we tried, but that was the best spot for it, so that people
That
weren't
is a good
walking by
spot,
it,
yeah.
you know, so, yeah.
Good.
Okay, sorry.
There's our new little gazebo that we were almost finished with,
Yeah.
and it sounds like we might get a couple more, so I think that'll look really good in that spot right there.
Love it.
But, yeah, that's
That's
coming
really
into it.
beautiful.
Isn't that, to me, it
It's
looks
amazing
really
transformation,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I didn't take any of the pictures of the bathroom inside yet because that's not quite done, so. Most of the plumbing's done, we still need the fixtures and stuff in there and some more FRP and stuff like that, but it'll be done here soon.
Good.
And then we get to start
Cleaning it.
cleaning. And it's gonna take a while, but,
It's gonna be free on the 22nd of June.
June 22nd is free day.
Yeah. Family fun day, or
Yeah.
family free.
So
fun
we're
day
still
or
planning on first weekend in June.
something. Oh, I love it.
It should be open.
Now, what's the latest on Department of Health? Have we got a letter to them, or have we heard back from them, or what's the
We
status?
haven't heard back yet from,
Melissa.
Melissa.
She did email Mike earlier.
Oh, she did? What did she have to say?
Oh,
Oh,
here anytime.
She's fixing whatever needed fixed.
okay, good. So that'll be fixed. That's good. That's kind of what we were waiting for. That was one of the biggest ones.
And the plan still is to get some
Yeah,
porta
you can't
potties.
really
and
see it in
everything.
that picture. They're just like, that
June
tank
22nd,
outside
it's
back
fun,
there,
family,
that's what she
family
had
fun
to
day, and it's
draw
free
up and
swimming.
get that approved.
Oh,
She had to sign it.
oh, like that
So
plastic tote thing that's in the
Yep.
back of the building?
Yep.
Tomorrow to
they
fill out
altered the set of plans, so.
for that.
Okay.
That's great. It's amazing transformation.
It is. It's
Oh,
still
it's
is.
beautiful, it's
Yeah.
gorgeous, I love
Pass
it.
on to the-
Since, when was the last time anybody ever did anything in there? What, 66?
Oh, yeah.
60? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
Not
so,
since I've been back
Yeah.
here living, so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and so everybody knows, I think we're gonna actually to have some more umbrellas and tables out there, right?
Yeah, we've
Because
got-
you're paying for the tables and some
Yep.
umbrellas, so we'll have some more spaces.
Yeah.
Besides
Yep.
those gazebos, we'll have
Yeah.
some
That
sitting
little spot
in
right here, we
shade.
plan on putting a table in a,
Oh, wonderful, yeah,
umbrella, so that people can sit out there too.
yeah.
I didn't know if it showed, but there is new sod there in front of the waterfall area too, so that people can sit in also.
I don't think that would show
Yeah.
there, but yeah. Yeah,
But,
yeah, if you're ever
Yeah.
over by there, stop and just peek through the fence. It's,
yeah, peek
it's-
through the fence. It's pretty cool in there.
Yeah.
Yep, a lot of work going on there. So,
Love it.
um,
So excited.
anything else you guys want to know about the pool? Nothing. Well, we are actually working on that art project there behind Field 1. I mean, the walking path. There's the roundabout back there. So that art piece that I can't remember his name gave us, the metal sculpture,
Right.
that's going out there.
Oh, good.
So right now we're in the process of doing electrical. We're gonna do ground lighting under, kind of in front of it, so it's shining up into it. So that'll hopefully be done soon, because I think somebody has a bench they want to put in there, something about a memorial for someone's son. I wasn't quite sure on that, but something, I think it was something quite a few, maybe last year or something, that
Came
Wayne
up.
also said okay to, but,
I don't remember.
yeah, Jessica said something to me. I'm like, oh, we better hurry up then. So,
We're talking about lighting, some lighting along the trail.
lighting
right?
along the trail. Also, we're getting some smaller poles that'll light up in the back there.
As long as PSC isn't charging us, we'll be
There
good.
probably will. Double. Yeah, that's the last weekend was the cleanup day in the park. A lot of people showed up.
Yeah, it was a great,
They did
Yeah,
a great
it
bit,
looked
a
like
lot of
it.
work. Yeah, it was.
they
It
got a
was
lot
good.
of stuff done, yeah.
It was a good day. So I think they were there till almost 3.
What?
So they were there almost till 3 p.m. So
Were they
people-
really?
Yeah, they stayed
They
longer
were
than the
quite a
actual
while.
event was.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
nice.
It was good.
Very nice. Oh
They
my
poured
gosh.
concrete over here today.
They did pour concrete. We poured concrete.
You
Yes,
guys
you
poured concrete
did.
over there. Yeah.
And it looks
Yeah.
really good. I
They told
went,
me my job was to keep the city off their back while they were.
I didn't come by. You guys were already gone, so yeah.
yeah, it looked really good. I
Yeah.
went out that way after the meeting today, so.
I will have the Jason go out tomorrow and do some street sweeping Olympia Street stuff, so that's ready to go.
Yeah, the
We got the
sidewalk
farmer's
is.
market starting up, yeah, soon,
Yeah.
next month, so, yeah.
Because Pam might be here this week, so just leave it, if you will.
Okay, that's all I got.
One question for you,
Yeah.
Troy. The bike extension, the Yum Path, is not open yet. What's the schedule on that?
I am not sure. That's Thurston County, so
The last time I was over there, they acted like once the hydro.
Come on in.
that's
But-
what I thought too. But
Yeah.
they were out there sitting the other day, and I haven't really talked to anybody, or they haven't talked to us about it. But
I'll send an email.
send an email out. I'm sure it could be open,
Thank you, Jen.
but I'm not sure
Yeah.
why. It's
I'm not sure why they,
Park Street, our project goes out to bid May 8th. Got it right this time. So, not March, May.
And what is that for, Troy?
That's the overlay of Park Street from
Okay.
6th all the way down to Howard Street.
That's chip and seal or asphalt?
No, asphalt.
Asphalt, okay.
Yep. It'll be nice.
No more chip seal.
No more chip seal. No, we can do without the chip seal. All right, that's it for me. Is that it?
Thank
Any
you.
other questions? Chief?
Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you. So, that's hard to come behind because police reports aren't always the best, so we'll start out with something good. We were asked by the high school to put together a PowerPoint presentation on the risks and the effects of fentanyl and some of the other illegal drugs that are disguised as prescription pharmaceuticals. Officer McClellan put together a great presentation. Mr. Hyder, the principal of the high school, sat in on it, and we got really good feedback from the students. They were all engaged. Cell phones were out of their hands. So that was fantastic. The 99 shooting at the 99 Bar and Grill, the Tenino Police Department heard the call and were first on scene. Detained 2 people who were ultimately taken into custody as suspects of the crime. Both were booked into the Thurston County Jail for various crimes, including murder in the 1st degree. One person has since bailed out. We're part of the investigation. The investigation is still ongoing. Any questions about that in particular? Okay. Unfortunately, we're still seeing an uptick in sex crimes in the city, both juvenile and adult. We've got 2 open investigations right now, forensic interview scheduled for a juvenile victim, and evidence at the state crime lab after processing a sexual assault kit that we took into our custody as evidence. Today we had a commercial motor vehicle enforcement event with the Washington State Patrol. Early in the morning, they were stopping and contacting commercial vehicles. I don't have the stats because it just happened today, but they did get a lot of stops in. And at the request of the mayor, we're focusing on traffic enforcement in the city. So I'm putting together a plan and have reached out to the Traffic Safety Commission for additional funding. We're going to start to figure out how we can have extra patrols for traffic only and have it funded by the state for funds that already exist for agencies. The state of Washington, there was over 800 fatalities involving traffic collisions in 2023. That's the highest it's been since 1990. The majority of those were due to impaired drivers. In nearly all the cases, speed was a factor. So the mayor and I have had 2 conversations about it, and we're taking those numbers pretty seriously and thinking of an effective way to educate the public on safer driving habits.
And can I just add in there real quick? I mean, I think it's something I've heard from citizens for some time, especially the east-west streets where we got these long, straight stretches with no stop signs or anything. So,
Sussex too.
yeah. So Sussex has always been bad, but we haven't really done much on the side streets. So I appreciate the
I had
efforts.
somebody pass me on the main street the other day.
One of our public works employees almost got struck by a car the other day while performing his duties. And it's always a challenge because we have marked patrol cars, so everyone is driving perfect when we're around.
Always. Yeah.
And we also want to balance enforcement and education and mix a decent amount of warnings for smaller offenses, 10 over, and versus, everybody gets a ticket. So.
The commercial, with the state patrol, I have noticed that there's not as many semis going through. I think that has helped a lot if they think they're gonna be stopped and not know when they're gonna be stopped.
Well,
And that would be wonderful if they altogether quit going through here, but.
I had a brief stint with the state of Washington in commercial motor vehicle enforcement and compliance and auditing of the businesses. And the commercial drivers do communicate where enforcement is taking place. And this can be a cut through to avoid scales.
Oh, it is, yeah.
And over height violations from log trucks primarily. We've had it, since I've been here, we've had 3 log strikes on the trestle. So.
Yeah, well, I think it's working, I really do, because you know, I'm in town a lot during the day, and I don't see as many big semis going either direction anymore, thank goodness.
Any other questions? We're just about at the 7 o'clock mark.
Nope, I appreciate your efforts
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
And we just had a pretty significant collision on McDuff Road a few minutes ago. Vehicle off the roadway, almost down to the railroad tracks. Serious injury to a juvenile. They almost had to life flight him out of here. But both occupants of the vehicle should make it, and there was no impairment seen observed.
Just kids.
Kids
Teenagers.
doing stupid things.
Yeah.
Don't say that to Janet.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Well, since we're on staff, well, code enforcement, got anything for us?
Good evening, council members, Mr. Mayor. It's been a minute since I've seen all your beautiful faces. Short and sweet tonight.
Can't go already.
Oh, thank you.
If you're including me in those beautiful faces, you better wear these.
April's been kind of a busy month on my end, doing a lot of education and training. Did the WABU annual meeting this last week up in Leavenworth. A lot of great information came out of that, which I'll pass on later. Also went down to Vancouver, got my mechanical certification taken care of for commercial mechanical. And so now I've been playing catch up since all that training. And where we're at right now is we just got the approval from BHC on the fire suppression systems for the Ag Park North and South building. So they're moving forward with that part of the project. I know they're still waiting on windows and doors to come in to be able to seal the building up. And then from the other, I know they got mechanical happening and electrical still going in. So that project's moving along, I think, just on the schedule they want now. I don't know if you guys noticed the new manufactured home located on 1098 Old Highway 99 over at the little trailer park on the way out of town there. They've got a new manufactured home that just got approved, so that's livable, done, all inspected. Everything is up to where we need it to be. And then we do have a lot of deferred submittals coming in right now on a lot of our bigger commercial projects that are taking place. So with the new Edward Jones commercial building going in, 4,000 square foot business office center that he's putting in over there on the corner of, hang on a second now.
It's across the street from the market.
Yeah, right across from the market,
I
exactly.
never can think of the names of the streets, it's location.
Exactly. The new Tenino gym, we're still working with the permit applicant on that, getting some more. We got the basic frame of the new structure inside that they want to put approved, but now we're just waiting on the deferred stuff, plumbing, electrical, mechanical, which is, it's coming in.
The high school gym?
No, the old feed store.
Oh, feed store.
Yeah. Yeah,
I know when you said that too, I was like, what, Jim?
That's turning into a gym.
right?
I didn't know that was turning into a gym.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, a lot of new businesses
Young Fit.
starting to spring in, some new up and coming, new
It's gonna
structures.
be Tenino Fit.
So I think it's gonna be a nice thing for the city. Permits this month so far, I've issued 2 new permits out. We still have probably about 6 permits from last month that are still in review. And I got 2 other permits that I'm getting ready to issue out. We're just waiting for the contractors to get their endorsement for the city of Tenino so we can collect our B&O from them. And on the code enforcement end, things have been pretty light. Haven't seen a whole lot of uptake in any CARs coming in right now that have been pushed over towards my department. Mostly it's been, I think, going to facility maintenance. Other than that, I think we'll still focus on the yard maintenance now that spring's here. So we'll start letting people know on the community, make sure they maintain their properties, keep those grasses cut, keep the community looking beautiful. I don't know if anybody's got any questions on my end. All right.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
The feed store, the new gym, are there plans for the hotel next door, adjoining it? Is that part of the permit, or?
No, that's a completely separate building. So all 3 of those buildings are separate.
Okay.
And what we're doing in order to upgrade the system at the same time is that we're having them put separate sewer and water connections to each individual building.
Yeah, she could, because she was trying to lease that old hotel.
Correct, yeah.
So it would have to
So
happen.
she does, you know, Facebook talk. I don't really listen to it much because it's just under assumption until it hits my desk. Then it becomes, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this before we can issue a permit on something like that. Because it is an old structure, so we need to make sure that it's a sound structure prior to any remodeling going on. All right, thank you, folks.
Happy birthday this week.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh,
Yes,
happy
I'm
birthday.
officially getting my AARP membership
That's
here
right.
in 2 days, so.
The next one is you get all kinds of notices about getting your Medicare insurance.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to turn 65 and I get
I know,
100 messages a day
You just
from,
turned 50? Oh, well, you got a long
you got a
time.
long time.
Yeah,
You're young.
Got plenty of time, right?
He's still coming.
This gives me hope hearing this. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Jen, you want to do yours since we're going?
Sure will. To touch on Jessica's report a little bit and Troy's a little bit, we will be posting, we have hired some lifeguards, but we do need to hire someone to work the front gate, so I think she's gonna work on getting that posted and start taking applications this week. As you guys remember, we got the SLCGP cyber grant last year and were able to upgrade City Hall as well as the PD. That grant is open again right now, and our IT suggested we should apply for it again because there's just a ton of funding available. So I think we're gonna do that, and we're gonna include the wastewater treatment plant this time. They need some upgrades in our IT. They're not on the same system as us, and they are always worried about them. They're just a little behind the times over there. So I don't speak IT, I don't talk tech, but when they say that,
Well, it just amazes
Yeah.
me because it's probably a 3 or 4 year old system over there. But
Yeah.
they're behind the times.
Right.
Since it happens weekly. or
that is
daily.
dinosaur status,
happen
yeah.
quicker nowadays.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
kidding.
Maria had the idea that we should maybe apply for it for virtual billing and switching our system to that, but I think that's more of a process because so many of our accounts are so old. Keeping that in mind, we're gonna start really being mindful when customers come in to start logging their email addresses so we can start to think of that in the future. That is the direction we would like to head. I attended the South County Mayor Commissioner meeting on Friday with Mayor Watterson. We discussed public safety tax and uses for that, as well as city needs in South County. It was awesome to hear them all talking with Rainier and Bucota and, you know, expressing to the commissioner what our needs are down here. And I had a meeting today about the EV grant. It's officially like a go and should be up for bid soon, so more on that to come.
Okay, I guess I will do mine real quick here. Like Jen said, she stole my thunder, the South County Mayor meeting we had here. That's okay. I don't mind it. I don't mind not having to talk. Something that's on my radar is I think we would like to put in one of our next mailings, something about water use just in general in the city. Again, kind of going back to our whole, you know, the school district cutting back, but encouraging people to say water just because I'm thinking I put something in the.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
one of the-
Jason, go ahead.
I saw people watering their yards
Already?
In
over
his
the weekend.
neighborhood.
Yeah,
Oh, already, why?
in my
It's got
neighborhood.
me soaked with all the rain we've had.
So anyway, I think it'd be a good idea just to send out a reminder and some tips, whatever we can say voluntarily. You know, the first would be great if we can just get what we get with voluntary compliance, because,
Yeah.
you know, when you start doing mandatory stuff, so let's try to do everything we can to get usage down as much as we can voluntarily and try to educate people a little bit. So whenever there's a mailing open up, I would like to, I'll try to find something that kind of gives some ideas.
I'll post it on my refrigerator because my daughter loves to water
Yeah.
and I don't want her to, so.
Now, can you tell me this is true, that there's some kind of rule that you have to keep your grass green? Is that true? That's not true? Okay.
Well, I don't know if it.
Somebody told me that there was a
in the
rule,
park, I don't think
but they don't
there is.
enforce it if
They
there
would
is.
just, they would just like everybody to keep the weeds out and that kind of thing.
Okay, so it's not like,
No.
everybody's watering a ton.
And I would object to that anyway.
Yeah. I did go to the Little League kickoff. That was a pretty big event. A lot of people were there. They even had food trucks there. So I did a little welcome and, you know, be good sportsmen. Don't get in fights at the Little League games, but I think they were appreciative of
Were you
having
talking to the grandmothers or?
Yeah, the grandmothers. They're the worst. Anyway, I think they were appreciative of having a city person there just to kind of be there for their kickoff, so that was great. I did go to Park Day and did a little bit of work. I don't know if I broke a sweat, but I tried to look like I was working a little bit out there.
Well, that's good. If you
Yeah.
represented us, then that's good.
Uh,
Sure did.
I attended both of the park plan public meetings. We already talked about that a little bit. I think the first one was well attended, and I think we got some good feedback. We already talked about the concrete pour. I met with Clint Endicott. I already talked about the water. Something he would like to do before summer gets here is meet with us about kind of emergency preparedness. I remember last winter where we had needed some heating and we didn't really have any plan to where they were going to go or where we could open for a warming center or the summer cooling center. So he would just like to meet with the city staff so we have clear communications on who's going to do what and who to call if we have some. And wildfires was another one that happened in the past where you know, people were asked to evacuate, but we really didn't have a plan on places where we could go. So I'm going to set up a meeting with probably Troy and the chief so we can kind of be all on the same page of what we want to do if we need to open a cooling center or there's an evacuation where we need some facilities, and we all know who to call and who's going to be responsible for what. So
Cooling center's right next door.
yeah, I know. Well, they've done it too. So
Yeah,
we'll invite the fire
every
department
year.
also.
Every year we open our doors.
I think where it came from, they're trying to do more community involvement also, you know, where we're a partner with us on some of this stuff. So if something's bigger, like a wildfire evacuation,
Yeah.
we may need like a school
Like
facility.
the, like the multipurpose center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
the gym.
it's more just directed at the simpler things. It's not the big emergency plan. And we have a, you know,
Right.
7 earthquake, but just day-to-day stuff that could happen. So I think that will be good to get done. That's kind of what I did since the last
I
meeting.
just got a message, Jessica made a water mailer for water
Oh, did she?
conservation. It's
Oh,
going
nice.
out in the next bill.
Oh,
There's
good.
one for it.
Sweet.
And Mr. Mayor, you touched on the concrete earlier, and we talked about the project, but I would be remiss if I did not mention that it was the Eagles organization.
Yeah. Oh, okay, sure.
Forrest
Yeah.
Bergen who set that up and rounded up the guys, and I pretty much
Yeah.
used the shovel, you know, but it's to their credit, again, so much they do for the city
Yeah.
and volunteering.
Yeah. Like I said last week, it's
Working
stuff like that, and that came together quickly. That wasn't like we had a lot of planning time, so that was very nice to see our community step up and do that in such a short notice. So very much appreciated that you kind of took the lead on it and helped. And
I was chasing Forrest the entire time.
Yeah.
Every time I talked to somebody, he'd already been there before me, so it's all Forrest.
okay. Outside agencies, I don't see. I don't think there's
Nothing from the
anybody from here. Yeah. Huh?
George didn't.
Do we have any reports from the EDC or study or anybody?
Well, the art, you want me to, I could report for the Arch Commission.
Yeah, if you want to do that one, you could.
Joyce Worrell, myself, and Jessica and Linda from the library met. We were the only ones on the commission. And we discussed the mural that is going to go on the library wall after the new siding is put up. Oh,
You got it.
after the new siding is put up. And then we went over to the park to see where the one is going to go at the ball field. And it was really nice. And I told Jessica I would talk to Travis at the pharmacy, and I did that today. And he said that because there's a group that owns that, not just him. They want to see a plan. They want to see what it's going to look like and how big it's going to be. And so, anyway, that's it.
Very nice. And I was supposed to get with Linda McKinney, maybe if she's going to be here later. They are going to start fairly soon on re-siding the building.
Right.
So Troy didn't know about it, so I was going to ask, I forget the date they were going to try to start.
Yeah.
But fairly soon they'll be doing that work, and it's another great partnership with the regional library stepping up and doing the labor for us on that building, because it is our building, and I don't think they really have any obligation to do that work, but they've volunteered to do that work for us, so
Yeah.
I appreciate their work too. Civil Service Commission, I don't think, facade improvement grant, got anything?
Nothing.
Finance Committee, we did meet today, you guys wanna,
Go ahead. Somebody else. Go ahead. Elaine.
Move to Finance Committee.
Yeah.
It's pretty much coming along as it should be for the quarters, how far we are into the new year. The audit has to be sent to state by the end of May, so the audit that they're doing here should be finished slightly before that. And then we'll know more of whether or not we're right on track or whether we're over or under. And if we have to revise the budget, that will take place in June.
yeah. I told them when we were in our meeting, it's kind of hard to look at the budget when you don't know what you're starting with, so, I mean, you can kind of see what we spent this year, and it seems like we're pretty on track, you know, if we spent kind of where we should be for this year. But until we get that final report from 2023, you know what our true starting balances were, you know, we're kind of guessing at this point where we're at, but as soon as we get that, we'll plug in the numbers and get you accurate information, because that's, for me, that's a huge thing. We gotta have accurate budget numbers, so I commit to you to get that as soon as we get that information.
So that's for this past year's
Yeah.
numbers to provide this year's actual.
Starting balances, basically, is what we're, yeah.
The previous years that they were never closed, are we doing work on that too?
Those are done. Those have been submitted, right, Jen, up to 2022? We're working on 2023 now.
Okay, and when might we see those?
The deadline to file that is May 29th, so.
You can, we can get you, I have, if you want to look at the 2020, the ones that are already done,
Yeah.
you can see those. If you want to see that information, I can get it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's 2023 that's not done yet, so we'll know exactly where we should have been starting at the first of this year as soon as we get that.
That's the
one.
important one.
That's a big one, yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'll get those, we'll get those to you.
Thank you.
Let's see where we're at. Finance Committee, got that. Public Safety Committee, anybody, you guys meet? Planning
No,
Commission?
we meet next Thursday.
Planning Commission, their meeting last month was canceled, so was no meeting it was this month. They'll have their next meeting next month. Public Works Committee, guys, nothing there. Liaisons, be that
There's no report.
Solid Waste Advisory Committee, their board.
That meeting is next week.
Okay, TCOM, Tenino School Board. Anything from the school board this week?
No, next month there will be, but not right now.
Okay,
They've said that they're going to be giving us a monthly report on what's going on there, which will be good
Okay.
to hear. And perhaps that's what Mr. Endicott will be doing
yeah,
our next meeting.
Can I make a comment about TCOM?
yeah, sure.
If you speak into the microphone.
And identify yourself, please.
My name's Maria Rodriguez. I work at the police department. I found out through TCOM, just some general information. They're offering a program called Smart 911. It's a program that you individually can register for through an app, and you provide information like if you have a child with some sort of handicap or health concern, or you have a grandparent or an older person that's on oxygen, or just even how many people are in your household, like how many children, how many dogs, how many cats, how many different bodies are in your household. And that way, if you ever have to call 911 and request emergency services, the dispatchers already know a little bit about your family. So you can put health concerns, you can put number of household, any pets, just some general information. I haven't actually checked out the app, but it came up in a meeting at TCOM, and so I just wanted to pass that along, that they're trying to get more information about you and your family before they have to respond to your house, so that they know what they're getting into.
Good.
Okay?
And I don't know if it's the same one. It also allows, I think, if like you can't talk, if you call, they'll know right where, they'll know your home address.
Yes, and
they
you
can even locate.
text 911 now
Yeah,
too.
yeah, instead of calling,
And
you can
that
text.
works here in Thurston County. South Sound has text to 911. If you're not, it's not preferred, but if you're in a situation, you have a burglar in
You
your
can't
house
call.
or an unwanted person, you can text 911 and get some basic information to them. Like again, it's not preferred, but it is available. They would like to be able to speak to you if at all possible.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up. It's a good one. Let's see. School board, I don't think there's, we already did that one. TRPC, John, you got anything with the,
Already reported on it last time.
okay.
TPB was basically a rehash. What's happening right now between the two is going through the basic process of getting set up for upcoming projects, and it's just the routine stuff that's happening now.
Okay. I don't think there's anybody from Commissioner's Office, Legislature. I don't
Well,
think there's anything.
I do have something, I think.
Oh.
I don't know. I know, I've kind of looked into this. I understand that because of the lawsuit by the people in Yakima and over there, that we are going to be taken out of the 20th legislative district. We will no longer be the 20th, we'll be in the second. And it said we wouldn't have to do anything, that we would receive in the mail our new
Voter
card. Well, I received just a little postcard the other day that said I'm still in the 20th, so I don't know. But I did go in and put in my address in the district finder on the legislature, and it just said, yes, we're gonna be in the second.
Because I did it right after they announced it. It must not have been updated yet, because it still showed on that.
No,
But, yeah.
it is now. Well, yeah, I think that's where I put it. I put it somewhere and it came out the second, but I've got a message into my supervisor at the legislature. She'll get back to me.
I mean, we've had pretty good
Yeah, the second's
luck
a
with
good
our,
district,
with our
too.
20th
The problem
legislature.
I see is, we have had great luck with the three you've got in there, that we are represented by now. And there are 2 new seats open up in the second.
Right.
So,
We don't know who's
who
gonna be
know,
here.
yeah, we don't know who
Not
the
me.
senator's going to be or one of the reps, so.
So we'll just have to establish some new relationships with those people, and, yeah, it kind of caught me off guard that they would move us into,
Yeah,
you know,
I was
'cause it was just,
actually pretty upset when I found out that JT Wilcox was not gonna run again. He's a good guy, really a good guy.
what's that? Okay, we got like 5 minutes. We'll take a bathroom break or,
Whatever, huh?
yeah, I think that's all. We'll go back and catch anybody that's not here that comes in later on those reports.
Move around. Thank you, sir. Does the mayor sign this one? Oh. There you go.
And the ink pen is mine.
Oh.
The green and white one.
And it's kind of a scribble on the back of the thing, cause I couldn't get the pen to work, so I scribbled.
I don't have the green and white one, Amy.
Huh?
You have that one still?
I don't see one.
Oh, I see it. It's underneath. And right there. Found it.
Thank you.
Yep. No, I'll only use that sheet. Next one we'll have a proclamation for life month.
Awareness.
Life commuter month.
Yeah. Standard yearly stuff.
Yep.
You get to read it, you get to say, okay.
There is a manufactured home in the park, going up, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, It's not listed yet, but I saw it on Facebook. They want $165,000 in the park. I thought, in their right mind, and then have to pay $800 a month in rent on top of it.
That's why I gave mine, literally, I gave mine away.
You did?
Rebecca's daughter. She was on 14th with all the drugs are all the time. They were going to go up to, I think she said $2,000 a month. So I gave them my place. So I was moving into it for Rebecca's anyway.
You know, I wrote two letters to the AG's office, you know, about the park, and they investigated them. Our rent was gonna go up from $725, I think it was, to $800. You know what I pay now? $611, because they were adding all these utility charges to us, $16, $17 a month. Well, they should have only been a couple bucks, you know, yeah. So, yeah, they investigated them and said that they did find fault with Hearst and Sons, so, yeah.
So everybody would have to write a letter to the AG's office to make that happen.
Well, I did it because it was recommended when I called there, because I said, this is just ridiculous. They're raising our rent $90, $100 a year, you know, and this is, when I first moved in there 20 years ago, it was $400 and some dollars a month.
Actually, $295 when I moved in.
Yeah, you were in there before I was, yeah.
$295 a month, and now it's $800.
Yeah, well, no, it isn't.
$795
Well,
plus.
but it isn't. Look at your next bill that you get.
I don't get a bill anymore.
I know, but they give this, I like the fact they give us the slip.
Yeah.
And I write my check, put it at the bottom, copy it, put it in my file, and then I wrap the check up in that, and then when I pay it, so that, and it's been $611 and something, is what my last couple bills.
That's a lot better. If they're not careful, they're going to lose their status as a mobile home park, because mobile homes are supposed to be for low income.
I know.
And these guys are jacking the rents up,
Yeah,
so it's not.
yeah, it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous.
So you gave your,
I gave my house to Rebecca's daughter. Because then she's only paying $800 a month instead of $2,000 a month.
oh, okay, so she can afford to stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
Have a roof over their head
the
anyway.
thing is that they don't take care of the park
No, they don't do anything.
at all, you know, and that's another thing I told the AG's office. You know, they don't take care of what's,
Did they used to? The other owners?
well, years ago, when my sister was the manager at one time, and that couple owned it, and they were really good about keeping it mowed, but I had to have an absolute fit about my neighbors. When I would walk out my front door, all I saw was crap piled on their porch, just junk. And I just kept bitching and moaning and bitching until they finally did something about it.
I've gone with Lenny about one down the street from me, and every time I drive down the
Is yours a
street,
white house with blue trim on the corner?
it's mine.
Yeah, is that your
Mine's,
house?
yeah, mine's
Yeah,
white.
I went by there the other
But
day.
you
and
go
thought that was
down
yours.
that side street,
No, I don't.
and that, on McClellan, you go down McClellan, and the first house on the next block. Trash. They couldn't even shut the garage door, there's that much junk in there. I mean, it's wide open and all this
It
stuff,
makes you
and then
mad.
it just looks so.
It makes you mad when you work your tail end off, make
Yeah.
your home nice and have it look good, and then crap right
Yeah.
next door to you. It just makes you mad.
Let's get this thing going.
Let's go.
Yeah, get out of
Get
here.
out of here. It's just a nice day.
Yeah, Pam's not gonna make it.
Okay, so I can go back to the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I hope so. Do-do. She made it safely?
Coming back is 2. Stop it. Oh, God. I'm sorry. Listen, my daughter's 62 years old almost,
You
and
still
I'm
worry.
still worried.
I know,
You know, we
I-
still.
doesn't matter how old
My son
he
is
is.
almost 65, lives in Alaska, and when he goes somewhere by himself in Alaska out in the tundra, he calls his mom, I'm heading northeast.
Here's where I'm gonna be or
I'll
whatever.
be up there, so that I can at least send a party if he doesn't call me back on Monday.
Okay, it is 7:30. Let's call to order.
Hit the gavel.
No more chatting out there. Serious business. So we're going to call to order the regular meeting of the Tenino City Council for April 23rd. Please rise for the flag salute. John, you want to start us out?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for being here today. I appreciate it. First item is agenda approval.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Passed. Approval of minutes, meeting minutes for 4/9.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes for the meeting from 4/9/2024. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Consent calendar, excuse me. Consent calendar, April 10th, 2024 through April 23rd, 2024, consisting of payroll ETFs in the amount of $49,622.88. Claims checks number 32298 through 32340 in the amount of $292,620.04 for a grand total of $342,242.92. No liquor or cannabis license approvals. Have a motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar. Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next is presentation. We have here VFW who's going to present Officer of the Year Award. If you'd like to come up to the podium and make sure the little green light's on your microphone there, if you would.
As Mayor, council members, and Chief Auditor, it's an honor to be here to make this presentation tonight. It's a privilege to be able to serve our community in this manner, and we strive to build relations with the community by giving awards to all public, as many public servants as we can. And we've already done EMT and Firefighter of the Year at the Fire Commissioners meeting in December. And tonight it's our privilege to be able to present the award for Law Enforcement Public Servant of the Year. And we met with the chief back in December or so, and he made his recommendation, and we filed it, and so we're here to make that presentation. And so I guess the chief is going to read the citation. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you. So I'm going to be reading what I had sent to the VFW after a lot of thought on my recommendation for Officer of the Year. So we changed the subject line to Public Safety Employee of the Year. So my nomination for Public Safety Employee of the Year is the police clerk, Maria Rodriguez. I realize that Ms. Rodriguez is not a sworn officer, so this nomination sways from the norm. I was tasked with selecting a nomination from a highly competent crew of officers. As I was attempting to make this determination, it occurred to me that the true standout employee was Maria. Maria has been an employee at the Tenino Police Department for over 8 years, the longest tenured employee with the agency. Maria is responsible for countless duties that in other agencies would be split up between multiple employees. Maria has seen the Tenino Police Department through many difficult times of growth, employee turnover, and leadership change. Through all of this, Maria has remained present, dedicated, professional, and a constant pillar of absolute stability in the agency. For over 2 years, I have personally had the privilege to work side by side with Maria. To me, Maria has been a source of strength, advice, and stability. Maria is often a sounding board and advisor to many policies and issues that come through our office. I admire Maria that she has the courage and the professionalism to offer advice and perspective on issues that may differ from my own. It's always apparent that Maria's motivation is to achieve organizational goals and not personal ones. Maria bears a responsibility of many difficult technical and liability-prone tasks such as arrest warrant management, secure database access administrator, evidence processing, equipment issuing and maintenance, police officer training standards management, and the list goes on. In my entire career, I can say that I have never seen someone operate at such a high level of technical proficiency as Maria. Maria has also offered much more to every officer at one point or another. Maria has offered advice, compassion, strength, and empathy to all her coworkers as she sees us navigate the difficulties of the job while simultaneously managing the inevitable challenges of life that everyone experiences. Maria always shows up. It occurred to me that Maria selflessly offers this while inevitably managing some of the same things with her family outside of the PD walls. Maria comes with my highest recommendation for Public Safety Employee of the Year, and I respectfully request the VFW's consideration.
Love it. Very
Well said.
well said.
So.
Thank you for your service. And it's an honor to present that to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
How do you like the ambush?
Yeah.
After all the
Thank you all.
You're welcome. So I would like to add a few more brief comments. I roundtabled this with all of our commissioned personnel, and Sergeant Lee is on vacation, so he could be here tonight. And even though it was my decision and it wasn't up for a vote, it was overwhelmingly agreed upon. To include, I sought input from Commissioner Fournier, and he also agreed, considering he had worked with all of us for so long. So it's just an absolute pleasure to work with Maria, and on top of this, tomorrow is Administrative Professionals Day, and she's got the day off.
Good. Congratulations, Maria.
I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. So I'm Michael Skokie, commander of the local post for the Veterans of Foreign War.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
service, and
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Very much. Hard to follow up on that, huh?
Boy, I guess.
Okay,
You could skip the pool part update. I left that on there, but Troy already did the pictures.
You already did it.
Yeah.
Bye.
good night. Have a great evening. Public comments. We're open for public comments. Is there anybody that would like to speak?
No, I just took a sign-up sheet off there.
Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. No public hearing. Old business, quarry pool update. We kind of did the update from Troy. Was there any questions? We're still working away. It's kind of still our top priority to get that thing finished up and ready to be open June 1st. But yeah, I think it's moving in the right direction, and we'll get there. We're going to get there. And yeah, the 22nd is the 22nd is the day where it's free.
Fun day.
Free.
Fun.
Yep.
Family fun day. It's free.
Any other questions about the quarry pool? Okay, moving on to new business, fee waiver request from the Quarryman Car Club. So you want to explain, Jen? Let's see, trying to see where
Bye-bye.
I can just read this if you want. You want me to just read this? I couldn't find it. So, greetings, my name is Dick Griffin, president of the Tenino Quarryman Car Club in Tenino. For many years, we have rented the Quarry House for our monthly meetings, plus one Sunday in December for our annual Christmas dinner. I have been working with Jessica, says Rush, to set up our use schedule for the remainder of 2024, and she advised me that we may not be able to use the Corey House at the nonprofit rental rate for our Christmas dinner this year on December 8th, due to it being on a weekend. Excuse me. Her recommendation was to write the City Council and request that the nonprofit rental rate be extended to our organization due to its longstanding charitable contributions to numerous organizations within the City of Tenino, including the Tenino Food Bank, the Boys and Girls Club, and the Tenino Historical Society. We ask your consideration of this request and look forward to hearing from you in the near future so we can secure the date for our club calendar. Thank you for your thoughtful consideration. Richard Griffin.
Move approval. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the request from the Tenino Quarryman Car Club. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Change order for Ag Park North Building, HVAC and plumbing. The plumbing has been taken off. That issue, I think, has been settled from what I understand, so there's no change request for the plumbing, but there is a significant change for the HVAC system, and Jim, chime in if I misspeak at all on this. So the change in contract price is $96,175.65. And if I understand right, this change order was when they did the bidding, they assumed that the business that was going to fill that spot was going to take care of some of the HVAC. And so they didn't include part of the HVAC system in the bid. Well, you can't really do that in a big building like that. The HVAC system is a system that has to be all connected and work together. So we're on the foot bill for adding that part of the HVAC system for another $100,000 basically. So it was another one of those kind of, I guess I would call it an oversight. So that's what's before us. The bid increase is $96,175.65, which brings the total contract price to $483,225.32. So that is before us. If there's a motion to approve, I can discuss a little bit more. Can we just make a motion before our discussion?
Motion.
Usually it's typical we make a motion to approve it first and then have discussion.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second? I mean, there can be discussion. We can still vote no for it, but
is somebody gonna second that?
Second.
Thank you.
so it's been moved and seconded to approve the change order request for the HVAC system at the Ag Park. So we'll open this up for discussion and then we'll have a vote and see where it goes.
It seems,
Go ahead.
it seems like a significant oversight. Is this, is that gonna adjust the price that the tenant comes in because they no longer have this cost?
I'm sorry, what? Oh, the
Yeah.
tenant.
Is the designer that missed this gonna pick up some of the cost for the city of this?
That's a great question.
Is the city of Tenino gonna have someone sharing the cost of this $100,000 over budget item?
Well, that could be, yeah, we can find out.
Yeah, that's my question. It's not our fault.
Right, I don't know where I don't know.
It was somewhere in the design of the architects that someone, yeah, that's a great question of how far back do you point accountability to?
Right.
Or going forward, as I
Right.
said, does that affect the cost to a tenant coming in?
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it affects the whole project.
And I'll just, I'll just let you know, the budget for that north building is, we're kind of struggling to find out because they also missed, and this is kind of on the EDC more, they missed the landscaping.
Oh, that is totally on the EDC.
That was almost
totally on them.
$200,000 that they
Yeah.
forgot to
That's-
include in the
yeah, but
prices.
that's not us, that's them, so.
The strange part about it, they gave us $300,000 because they thought they had everything covered, so they said, hey, here's this $300,000 for you guys to help with the building, and then afterwards, now they find out that they forgot to include the landscaping. Well, part of that is definitely required by the state because like the runoff stuff, you have to have some plants and stuff in there to, you know, for the runoff from the pavement. I think we've asked if we can delay on the, I'm on the plants now, but, which is kind of another subject a little bit. So we're working on how to deal with that part of it, but what do you say, Jen? We made some adjustments after the last meeting. Now, what's the city kind of at, where we at?
Yeah, it's pretty much this one that's.
So we're almost 100,000 short on money as a city that we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna pay for this with, you know, including the grants that we've already got. So we've got some work to do, and I think Jen has a meeting with Dragon Wheel, right?
Yes.
Because they're very concerned. I mean, they're doing their building and they don't want to move in and not have a project
They
that's
can't
not
get
done.
CFOs until the entire project's done, and they have tenants ready to move in just as we do, so.
Well, it seems to me if the plan in the first place was for the tenant coming in to buy all this material, if we have a tenant.
It wasn't, I don't think it was planned that they do that. I think,
It was just assumed.
yeah, I don't know how, the HVAC, I can't understand how they could
Well, I
think that
just think we
somebody.
need to get to the bottom of why it happened, you know, because that's just not good.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Like I said, if we don't have the
Yeah,
money.
we don't have the money to.
And we don't even know our budget. That's kind of why I've been concerned
Well,
about,
the
we don't
thing
even
is
know
that
our budget, where we're gonna be, you know? So it's a tough one for me because if we don't have the money to pay all our contracts that we have outstanding, how we, you know, what are we gonna do when it comes, it's gonna be done fairly soon, you know? We're gonna have to pay some money out soon, so we gotta figure out fairly quickly how we're gonna come up with $100,000 to cover our part of, and then the EDC. I mean, the project is both us and the EDC. It's their responsibility, but to get the place open.
And refresh my memory, who's the project manager on this?
Well, there's multiple. So Josh Taylor is with Dragon Wheel. He's been overseeing the entire project on the ground. Our city engineer is also, I wouldn't call him the project manager, but he's managing the contract part of it. So yeah, there was multiple.
And the EDC has somebody that's kind of, they're working with too.
Yes.
So this is a problem, part of the problem, I think.
Well, that's-
You have three people kind of involved in
And that's-
overseeing. and-
That's good news. We have lots of heads that can get together and
Figure
help
out
us
how,
figure
yeah.
this out. Yeah, I'd like to see this kicked back to them and come up with some options rather than just rubber stamping a $100,000 price increase.
There's something else I was gonna mention, but now I'm trying to, I lost it when we started. Anyway, if I think about it, I'll bring it up. But, yeah, so we can take it back to them and see, you know, I don't know how this affects
This will
them.
delay the whole project quite a bit if we wait for the next council meeting for a change order, but it's your guys' decision.
Yeah, it's not the ideal situation we're in here.
So pretty much we're between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, that's kind of what, yeah, we're between a rock and a hard place. We either say no now and delay the project even further. I mean, it's pushed out to August now, or we say yes and try to figure out in the meantime how we're gonna, you know, can we get reimbursed or whatever. So that's.
Can we do
I'm looking to you guys for, this is a tough one for me.
And I'm
either
new
way.
here. I don't know all the procedures. Can we do a special session in a week's
We could.
time or something to move the timeline up for the city council meeting?
We could have a
sooner than 2
special
weeks?
meeting if we needed to, if you want us to go do some initial contact and see if we get any other, and if we have to.
So
you know,
give them a
just
week
Call a
to-
5-minute meeting to come in and say, here's what happened, and
Jen, if we wait another week, what'll happen?
Another week's another week, so that's fine.
it's just one of these construction project things are all tied together. So if you don't do your HVAC, for example, the HVAC, they're waiting to get some equipment up in the loft area, and they can't complete other projects until they get this piece of equipment up in there. So it doesn't just delay the HVAC, it delays.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah, so
On
yeah.
the other hand, construction professionals have to deal with this
Yeah.
periodically.
Right.
Yeah, because it's more than today is the 23rd, so it's actually
3 weeks from now.
About 3 weeks from now before our next
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
So if we say no, what we'll do is go back and say, hey, this is, we don't have the money for it. I've already told them that we don't have any extra money. If things come up, we're gonna have to figure out between all of us how we're gonna get this thing finished. So we can go back and say, hey, how are we gonna do this? We don't have the money, and
We don't know
and can we,
which person or which agency
right,
or business.
and talk about who, yeah,
We don't know which one really made the mistake, or
Right.
do we know?
yeah. I don't know right now.
Well, the other part is we had an $83,000 PSC bill come in that we weren't anticipating, and we hadn't budgeted for, and we had to pay it. So had we had that money,
That was another bill that, was a,
that's what took our cushion away, was that PSC.
Well, did PAC ever get back to us about reimbursing that? Because that wasn't.
but I think what we heard is because we can't take that out of grant money because we spent it before the grant was, another strange thing about construction, when you're doing construction, you gotta put some pipe in and stuff, but we hadn't got the grant yet, I think, and so they're saying now we can't go back and, is that right? Is that the
For
number?
the EV one, yeah.
Yeah. So we can't go back and use grant money but it would make no sense to not put it in while you're doing the construction before you pour concrete and everything else. So it's beyond me. I'm not a construction person, so I know there's difficulties like that, but, it was another $83,000 that we spent that wasn't in the budget when we,
I was gonna say, we'd already done one.
yeah. So if that's the direction we want, we'll go back and we'll call a special meeting. We'll try to find out, and we'll come back as soon as we can and provide you with information, and we can go from there. If that seems like,
So you gotta hold a vote, first and second.
yeah, we had to hold a vote. So there's a motion and a second on the floor to approve the change order. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed?
Nay.
Okay, motion fails. We will take this back and try to get you some better information about,
See you
how we
next
can
Tuesday.
move forward. Yeah, and we'll do it as quickly as we can, so we try to reduce any delays on getting other work done there.
Okay, well, we won't have to have a work session, right? 'Cause
No, we'll just have a special meeting. It'll be 5 minutes, 10 minutes or whatever, just enough time to tell you what happened,
Okay.
and we can reconsider just that one item, the
Okay,
only thing that'll
okay,
be on the
because
agenda.
Will that be April 30th?
Yes.
What time?
Is that what we want to do?
We'll probably do it at 7 PM.
7, yeah.
No, that's fine. I'm going to my great-grandson's baseball game down there. And if I'm here, I'm here, because I'm going to that game. So.
On the third, is it
On the 30th, yes.
Well, we're missing one person,
Elma's
so-
playing
Okay.
Tenino, so I'm going.
We'll get information out so people know
Okay.
before we come to the meeting. We'll kind of do just like we do with our regular agendas. We'll send out.
But if we could do it maybe that Monday, would that work, Melinda, for you?
Sure,
Is that enough time for?
sure, Monday's fine.
It's about
We'll
a
see.
week.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll ask Mike Marshall to come and
Yeah,
explain.
I could do it Monday,
Yeah.
because I'll come home from my sister's on.
If there's a holdup, we'll just have to say we're going to cancel the meeting and reschedule it if we can't get things. But right now we'll set a date, and if something changes, we'll get
Did you
notice
say
out to
that
you
Monday was
fairly
okay?
quickly.
I'd rather have it
I'll
on
make sure
Wednesday
we
if you want to know the truth.
We can do whatever. It's your meeting. It's
I'd rather do it on Wednesday than Monday or Tuesday.
So you
Oh,
would-
okay.
Yeah.
So you would like to do it on May 1st?
Yeah,
Does that give us enough? That's just
I
a couple
have a-
days.
At
Like I said,
7
we'll
p.m.?
try to get it by May
That's
1st.
what
If we
she said,
can't,
yeah.
Okay.
we'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be great. Mike coming in, and he's
Yeah.
much more,
On the first.
he can explain it a lot better than I can, because I just don't know construction management and how all this happens. It's, beyond me how it happens, but anyway,
Sorry, I should have just had him come tonight and
I
talk
didn't
about
think
it.
about it either, but yeah. Okay, that's what we'll do.
okay.
Got that. Resolutions, nothing. Ordinance. Public comments, number 2. Anybody want to speak? Any announcements? John, any announcements?
I decided to make an announcement last week.
Okay. Okay, hearing none, we'll adjourn.
Yay.
Non-debatable